So yeah, we are so happy and excited to get to share our dairy with you. We love our cows, we love our animals here, so we're excited to show that to you. My husband and I are third generation dairy farmers. My husband grew up here on this dairy. His dad farmed here before us. I grew up further out west, and we had a dairy out there. So dairy is very much in our blood and a part of our lives. We are raising 6 kids here, and hopefully they will be 4th generation, and they will want to continue the dairy also. Each calf has their own individual little, it's like a big giant doghouse if you want to, put it in terms that you might be able to understand. It's like a big doghouse for a calf. Each calf has their own little fenced area out front, and they have their own grain and water inside that they get. My kids help take care of the chores. They do the majority of the calf chores, and they make sure that everybody's got milk twice a day in their bottles, and they have fresh grain and water. And so yeah, well, this is where the calves start out. So these calves here are in the weaning stage. So like they're only getting, instead of getting the 2 bottles a day, when we're weaning them, they'll cut it down to 1 bottle a day. And then after a week of the 1 bottle a day, we cut it down to no bottles a day. And so they just have their grain and their water. That way, it helps us to know that they're eating and drinking well, so that they're ready for that next phase in their life when they go on to another bigger pen with their friends. Another quick stop. I know we looked at some of the older calves. We also have some calves that we don't have hutches ready for them because we like to clean the hutches between each calf. We like to clean their hutches so that everything's clean and new. Don't have those hutches ready. So these are some of the babies in this shed here.
Once the heifers are completely weaned from milk and they move into a grass and mixed diet, they get to move to this open pen. Here you can see they have lots of space to hang out with their friends, eat all the food they want. They have unlimited water. And of course, they have a sheltered space to be able to get out of the sun and also protect them from cold weather. They're in this area for a few months.
These right here are some of our milk cows. A couple of jerseys there. This grayer looking one, that's a brown Swiss. We have a few of those. Trying to think, we'll walk down by the other ones. We have since it's beautiful out and it's not rainy or muddy, our cows can get off of the concrete and out of the shed, and they can go lay out on our dirt, which they love. They love to lay out and soak up the sun. That really spotted one right there is a Guernsey. And that's another dark brown Swiss walking out there too. And that is our mixer wagon there backed up to it. And that is what we mix all of our feed in. It's like a big blender. Inside that big barrel there are really sharp blades. And when we dump in, we have a loader tractor that we dump in our corn silage and our hay and another product of wet gluten that we put in. And those blades mix and turn in there, and it mixes it all up like a big blender. And this sand over here is what we use for bedding. And I have a 5-year-old that likes to play in it also, and the dog. But we use this as bedding in our free stalls. If you've ever, I'm sure many of you have played in the sand, or what sand is. It's very soft and very movable. Sand in our free stalls for our animals is the same way. It moves with them. They can get up and down easily in it. It gives them good footing. These are some of the cows, and they're in their sand. I don't know how well you can see the sand. That's some of the cows, the milk cows laying down in their sand bedding. They're done milking for this morning, so they won't get milked again now till like 6 o'clock tonight. So they're just taking it easy. Over here, we are close to our milking parlor. And right there, I believe you're seeing our 2 bulk tanks. And we have them, this is half of it. This is half is outside and the other half is on the inside. Yes,
Great.
that's
And what is a bulk tank? Can you explain what it does and why you have them?
the bulk tank is where the milk goes when we're milking cows. It goes through, it comes out of the cow and through our line and through our plate cooler, which cools it down a little bit before it goes into the tank. And then the tank goes in and cools it the rest of the way down and keeps it at about 36, 38 degrees. That's inside the milk parlor there. As we're clearly done with milking, the units that go on the cow are washed and hung up. And then since everything's connected, we do have a wash cycle. So we have to make sure everything gets cleaned out, everything's stainless steel. We have a rinse cycle that rinses it, and then we have a wash cycle. And then at the very end, we have a sanitizing. So that those hoses and those milk lines are kept very clean. So, no bacteria or germs or dirt or anything else are left in those lines. That helps with the quality of our milk. So when a cow comes in, she's going to come in and she's going to turn so that her back legs, so that we're looking at her back legs right here. These claws are going to be down. So they're going to look like this. Well, if I can take them off. So that's what they're going to look like. Then when the cow comes in, and after we've cleaned her udder, we wipe them and then we dip them with a pre-dip that helps kill any germs or bacteria that might be there. So we clean her and then we dip her, and then we're going to wipe her off with another towel, and then we'll strip her out to make sure that her milk is good and get that first strip down there. And then these will go on and attach to all 4 of those teats. So that's how it's going to look. A cow that's milking pretty good, probably be on for maybe 5-10 minutes. We don't have, a lot of dairies will have an automatic takeoff, which means when the sensor in the milker senses that there's no more milk going through, it will detach itself and come off of the cow. We do not have those, just because we like to make sure, sometimes cows milk out funny if their udder is uneven. So we just always we do it manually and make sure that all the cows are milked out on their own. But DFA, Dairy Farmers of America, is our co-op that pays us for our milk. As far as the brands that you can purchase, our milk goes to the Highland plant in Omaha, Nebraska, which is a fluid plant. I believe they make ice cream and yogurt and other things like that, butter, and but mainly it goes to fluid milk. But you can look up, each state will have, or each plant will have a code on it that will say which plant it was produced at or what it was processed at. And I know that the Highland plant in Omaha is a 3108. I'm sure that's what it is. So Highland is the brand of milk, is the name brand of milk that our milk goes to. But you can also find some off brands or store brands that also have that same plant code on them. Gosh, my passion behind dairy farming, I don't think I always had the passion that I do now. When I grew up on a dairy, we just more or less milked cows because we milked cows. Since I've gotten married, we built a life around this. Jason's always had that passion for dairy cows because he's the only one of his siblings that has remained in the dairy. So a lot of his passion, I think, has rubbed off on me, and it's developed in our kids. I think a lot of that passion has to be about our kids. I don't think there's a better life out there for our kids than growing up on a farm, and a dairy where they learn early about life and death. They learn a lot about wanting a certain cow to have a heifer so that you have that offspring, and they learn about the disappointment of it having a bull. So they learn a lot about life. and how to deal with things. And these animals are, I want to say, they're safe place. They love these animals and they talk to them. um, like I say, some of them they favor more than others, but they truly do love these cows and these heifers, and I think that's what my passion is about, is this life that we're living. This has been a lot of fun. I hope that you, the students and the teachers and whoever else might be watching, I hope that you enjoyed our heifer and that you enjoyed our little tour of our farm. Yeah, drink milk.